Hey, it's Dr. Gala. In this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about circadian rhythms and how people use melatonin to try to adjust their circadian rhythms when there are a lot more natural ways to do this. With our circadian rhythms, basically there's a clock, a natural clock that our body adjusts to. Depending on the segment of the day, the organ involved gets a little extra love. A little bit of extra energy is diverted to that organ. So it's important that you understand, if you've got symptoms that seem to repeat at a similar time every day, it points to what might be involved. One of the symptoms that a lot of people struggle with, especially women, is insomnia. And this shows up in a lot of different ways. I'm not going to talk to you too much about all the ways in this video, but a lot of people take melatonin to try to basically force their body to sleep. Melatonin is a naturally occurring element in the body, and when our body is operating on its natural circadian rhythms, we start making more melatonin as the sun goes down. That melatonin increases, and then somewhere in the night, when it starts to get towards sunrise, the melatonin starts backing off. But we basically have melatonin occurring in our bodies all the time. So it isn't like melatonin is a sleeping pill. We're just basically trying to artificially boost the melatonin because our bodies aren't producing enough of it. One of the things that causes our internal signaling to get off is when we use artificial lighting and don't recognize the sun setting and the sun rising. One of the great ways to reset your circadian rhythms is to just go out in the morning after the sun comes up and spend just a few minutes. You really don't have to spend a whole lot of time. Just a few minutes soaking up the morning sun. But even more importantly is getting out in the evening after your last meal. Hopefully that happens before full-on sunset, but in the winter that gets harder. And you just go out and enjoy what my husband's family likes to call a postprandial perambulation. Basically, that's a walk after dinner, and that allows you to, one, help your body digest that dinner, and that will free up some resources for your rest and repair during your sleeping time. It also allows your circadian rhythms to set for sleeping, and definitely supports the natural melatonin cycle. It is helpful for some people to supplement with melatonin if they really are in a bad period where they're just struggling to sleep, because sleep is where all of our rest and repair happens. If we're not sleeping well, it's hard to be healthy and it's hard to be emotionally regulated. Just everything kind of goes haywire. Melatonin, though, will help you go to sleep. A lot of people wake up in the 1 to 3 a.m. range. And if you try to take melatonin in the middle of the night, that's just gonna make the problem worse, because as you get over that hump of the middle of the night, your natural melatonin production is going down to prepare you for waking and feeling rested and energized. If you need a little extra support falling to sleep, melatonin might be something to consider. But if your problem is waking up in the middle of the night, then we need to do a little more investigative work, because taking melatonin when you wake up in the middle of the night is just going to make the problem worse. The other kind of interesting thing that I learned about melatonin recently is related to insulin resistance. Melatonin triggers all that hormone cascade that is associated with insulin resistance. So if you're finding that you've got stubborn weight gain, and you're just not able to get rid of excess body fat. It helps to have a scale that you can monitor your body fat percentage, because that's the only way you really know if you've increased your body fat percentage, or if it's just regular weight, if it's body fat percentage that's off, if it's hydration that's off. You can get a scale that makes monitoring those things somewhat easier. If you truly believe that excess body fat percentage is your problem, then dealing with the insulin resistance is going to be critical. One of the ways that you can try to work with your melatonin production is to practice time-restricted eating. I suggest that you don't eat anything for several hours after sunrise. So if you really have to have breakfast, that would mean a late breakfast, probably at least 10 a.m. or later. A lot of people find that skipping breakfast really supports this, and they never thought that that was really possible for them. The more important end of the time-restricted eating, though, is when you're eating in the evening. And if you can be finished with intake of any food at least 3 hours prior to bedtime. Bedtime is between 10 and 11 p.m., which means that optimally you would be done eating by 7 p.m., 8 p.m. at the latest, but that's only if you really go to bed later. Even better if you can make that happen closer to 6 p.m., especially in the winter when it gets dark so early. Your body is trying to rest more because the sun's down and there's more melatonin production, and it's saying, I need to take a break. That includes digestive rest. Digestive rest happens when we don't force our digestive system to be constantly processing food. If you enjoy this type of conversation, if it resonates with you, I just encourage you to look around this video and find the link to come and join us in our community, and we look forward to seeing you and sharing this journey with you.